Okay, recording has started.
Okay, thank you. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our June uh, monthly data reporting managers meeting. Time has flown. I can't believe that we're here nonetheless. We do have a semi-light crowd today. I trust that everyone is enjoying or preparing for their summer break. Um, pretty light agenda today. Just going to inform you guys on some things, and if we have time at the end, we'll stop the recording and just talk through a little bit of the information and how it appears within the system if time permits. Okay. So a little bit about our Ed Plan updates. I just want to remind you guys that as you are updating your information in the spreadsheets and attaching them to for submissions, do not, please do not delete any rows or columns from your spreadsheets. Um, it is okay to correct the data within the cells, but do not delete any rows or columns from your spreadsheets. That's going to help us verify the data. And when rows and columns are deleted, it shifts and skews the data. Um, your submission will represent your validation or assurance that the data that you're submitting is correct as of that date. Um, that list, we use that for our timely tracking of your data submissions, but that list will also be submitted to ORDER, which is our Office of Research and Data Analysis team, and they are going to pull your data from your system as of that date to upload into the ODS, into the state's ODS system. So just kind of getting in sync with how the process is going to look and how it's going to work, just so that you are aware of which data will be pulled into your system. So your submission date will ultimately be the date reflected for the data that's uploaded into the ODS system. If you have students on your reports that should be removed from your spreadsheets, please send an email with the state ID number to the Special Education Services at ed.sc.gov. Please do not download the reports and send it to us as an attachment. Those reports do contain PII information, and that is a violation, and we must protect our students' identity and information at all times. If you are experiencing any issues or errors in your system, we appreciate the emails to us, and we like to know what's going on, but ultimately we do encourage you to submit that Zendesk ticket, even if you discover that you don't need it. It's always good because we are dealing with a new system, so we want to make sure that any potential issue or error is documented on their end so that they can get it corrected. So at the discovery or on site of any issues or errors, please submit that Zendesk ticket. As we transition to this AR advanced reporting reports for your submissions, any corrections that you make in the system, there is a 24-hour delay in before you are able to see those corrections in your system. So any changes or corrections that you make today will be visible in your system, or not, I say in your system, will be visible on your reports tomorrow. So just be mindful that there is a 24-hour delay in what you see at the changes that appears on your advanced reporting reports. Just a reminder to those enriched districts, your reports should be sent to us via ADT. Those you're submitting your reports via ADT. There is not do not follow the same logic as the Ed Plan district. So want to talk a little bit about indicators 11 and the table for exiting. We are meeting this afternoon and we're going to start preparing those reports. Currently, the reports are still due at the end of July. July 25th is your submission for indicators 11, 12, and table 4. So we should have those completed by end of next week. Indicator 7 is actually due tomorrow, Friday, June 27th. Just to give you some insight as to what's been added to indicators 7 and 12 reports. Per your request, we've added a column for the full name of the student. We've added a column that a yes/no column that notates if the student has received less than 180 days of services, yes or no, excluding weekends. There is also a length column that indicates the number of days that the students have been served. And that report is running as of the date. The length of time is reflected as of the date you're running the report. So we wanted to make that an interactive field, if you will, so that at any given point in time, you'll know how many days you're working with. We've also added a column in there that's called the error entry date, and that column represents if the date that you've entered for the entry date of the coast, if it's a Saturday or Sunday, so you'd have to go in and adjust that date to make sure that it's actually appearing on a weekday and not a weekend date. To help assist with that, there is a flag in there. So if you see 6 or 7, which represents Saturday or Sunday, it's going to be highlighted for you to go in and change that to either a Friday or a Monday. There's also a column that have been added for IEP event, the start date of the IEP, which helps us to track the data and kind of help us navigate the outcomes in the event of missing information. For indicator 12, which is due July 27th, July next month, July 25th, um, we've added a indicator in there or a report in there, a report tab within the system, and it's titled NA. And so basically what that is on the BabyNet factors page for indicator 12, there's a drop down menu on that page, and the first option is NA. And so NA plus represents where you have selected NA plus an additional BabyNet factor on that page. And to help us determine what the actual outcome should be, we do expect you to either go in and deselect those BabyNet factors, leaving just the NA. But in either case, you want to make sure that you add a comment in there to help us understand what and why that option is appearing the way that it is. So the comment will help you to tell us what's going on with that particular child. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about indicators 8 and 14. It has been challenging. It has been challenging, but we finally think that we worked out all the kinks from what we received from the ODS. And just a reminder to those districts, which is listed at the bottom of this slide, to send out information informing the parents that the surveys are actually legitimate, um, and that they should be on the lookout for those postcards in the next coming weeks. I am also going to send out emails to these families to complete the surveys. Um, there will be a notation on the email that if they get the postcard, to disregard if they complete it via the email that they're receiving. Um, I'm hoping to get that out, get those emails out within the next week or so. We do have an email limit on the number of emails that we could send out per day. So I have to be careful not to exceed that because I'll be locked out of the system for the remainder of the day for actually for 24 hours if I exceed that email limit. So bear with us as we get those out to the parents. Um, our list consists of parents who've been active or parents of active students as of June 4th. So we may have some students in there who will receive surveys and they're no longer active. It's okay. That's not a huge issue. Right now, the survey closes August 31st. We do have some flexibility to extend that, not much. I'm not a fan of having the surveys to go or extend over into a new school year. So we want to try to wrap it up as close to the start of the next school year as possible. Okay. Also including the survey links. I do have the path to our website. That's the very first link, and then the survey link in the available languages that appears on the website as well. Um, all the other languages will be converted into English for one standard consolidated report at the close of the survey. Okay. Indicators 14, I was out last week, so I'm playing catch up this week on all the emails and preparing for today's meeting. But the next update will be sent out on next Monday. Um, the survey for indicators 14 is only available in English and Spanish, but those links are attached or included in the PowerPoint as well. The links for indicator 14 for the opt-in districts will remain open until July 31st. On September 1st, we're going to send the balance of what was not completed along with the non-opt-in districts data will be sent to the vendor to as one last means or opportunity to obtain results, if you will, for the opt-in districts. And they will finish out the balance of the surveys for the non-opt-in districts. Be sure that you are using the survey codes and not the student ID number or the state ID number. The reports are very tricky. The student's ID number or state ID number that I have seen used as a survey code, I have not been able to track it down in the system. And if I cannot track it down in the system, the data will be deleted and you will not receive credit for it. So be sure that you are using the correct survey code. And the survey code consists of 4 alpha characters and 4 numeric characters, okay? For a total of 8 characters. Um, remember, do not complete the survey for students with exit reasons, move known to be continuing. Those students are still active and should not have been included in the survey. So just to let you know that they will be removed from your report. So if you complete the surveys for them, you will not receive credit for them. So make sure that the exit reason move known to be continuing is excluded from your contact list. You do want to keep track of your contacts. However, whatever mechanism you choose to track those students that you've contacted, solely up to you, but make sure that you keep a running list of who you've contacted. Your exclusions, reasons for closing out your contacts of these students when you're attempting and you can't, after you've made 3 attempts and you got no answer, if the child is deceased and they do not want to participate or your exclusion, these will end the survey, okay? They are not included in your response rate. So I just want to be clear and let you know that these 3 reasons, exclusion reasons, are not a part of the response rate formula. The surveys for the opt-in districts are due July 31st, so we have about a month left to get those in. And just to help you understand how the bonus point work. There's one bonus point that is built into all determinations that's standard for everyone. And then there's one incentive point, which is the opt-in for districts who have a response rate of 50% or higher. They get one additional bonus point on their determinations at the end of the year. And the response rate is the not applicable, which is your total surveyed divided by the total number of students in your source file, in your source count. Okay. So I just want you to understand how that formula works. Okay. Discipline. Okay. This has been another challenge for us this year. Um, they shifted how the reports come to us, and these reports are now being generated out of the ODS system, which is new to everyone. So I just want you to be mindful that if there are extensions, it's going to come from Avine Coleman's office as we get the data from her team. So if you have questions or concerns, and some of you have been, be sure to send that to the discipline@ed.sc.gov email address and CC the Special Education Services email folder. That keeps us in the loop. We've been meeting regularly about issues that some of the districts have been experiencing. And so once Avine gets that report, I will get it from her. So when she says, no, that's it, I defer to her. So please make sure that if you experience any issues or notice any discrepancies on your discipline report, be sure to send that information to her. Our exiting reminders, just I know we've said this before in the past, and students, it's covering the enrollment period for July 1st, 2024 and June 30th. Oh, I have the wrong year at the end of that, so I'll correct that. June 30th, 2025. I don't know what I'm thinking. And so just to kind of give you some insight as to the student must have been present and active on the last day of school during the previous school year and not active or special education on the last day of school in the current year, whether they withdrew or graduated. That is your population of students who appears on the exiting report. Your exiting report, what experience is the best teacher. For indicator 14 for next school year, we're just going to use this exiting report and remove the move known to be continuing students from that report. Um, we're going to remove the students who should not be a part of that report, and that will be your indicator 14 report. Uh, Lots of growing pains from how the report was generated for this current year. So we're not going to do that next year. So we're going to use the actual table 4 report as the exiting report for the next school year. Make sure that your graduates and your credential students are coded correctly. You want to talk with your PowerSchool person to make sure, the credentials, there's separate criterias and monitoring for the students who are receiving credentials in your district. So you want to make sure that those students are coded accurately. You should not have any blanks, but in the event that you do, you want to make sure that those blanks are create or corrected prior to your new year rollover. Students who are withdrawn to attend adult education, um, unknown reasons will be reported as dropouts. If they're exiting and if there are two, I think maybe three. There is an adult ed exit reason, there's an adult ed for GED, and there's an adult ed for graduated with a high school diploma. If you have adult ed, you have to go in and update or modify that exit reason in Ed Plan. If you go in and modify the exit reason in Ed Plan, it will override anything that's coming from PowerSchool. So you want to make sure that your exit reasons are updated to reflect one of these 7 codes. These are our official exiting reasons for Table 4, that your PowerSchool exiting reasons have to be converted to. Okay, so these are our official reporting reasons for IDEA. So you want to make sure that any PowerSchool exit reasons, you must go into Ed Plan and update modify the exit reasons to align with one of the 7. And we've included a couple that we know of. We know that the PowerSchool list is pretty extensive. So these were some of the common codes that we saw, and to give districts a heads up on what needs to be corrected in Ed Plan before their final submission. Okay. We're coming down to the end of our meeting, so we're going to look at the chat to see if there are any questions. For next month, we're going to update the meeting link. So sometime at the beginning of July, be on the lookout for a new meeting link for the 25-26 reporting year. Our meetings will be on the 4th Thursdays of each month at 10 o'clock. We don't have the calendar available just yet for the systemic verification checks for the 25-26 reporting year. But by the time we have our July meeting, we should have the calendar finalized and have some dates for you for the systemic verification checks. Okay, and now I'm going to go over to the chat to see if we have any questions. The first thing that pops out when it's a Table 4 report due, that is due July 25th. So we still have about a month. And remember, you seeing data on your exiting report is contingent upon your district completing the New Year rollover. So they need to see your New Year rollover has to occur first before you're able to see the data for your Table 4 exiting report appear in the advanced reporting. Is there any outstanding questions in the chat? Albert, if you like, you can unmute the team, unmute everyone. So if anyone has any questions, they can ask.
Okay, give me 1 second. All right, participants are able to unmute and ask any questions if they want to now.
I see Sheila Wiley is raised.
Oh, good morning, Carolyn. So quick question about the Table 4. So I take it the exit codes will be updated because the codes in Ed Plan are not consistent with what you just showed us.
Okay, so how it works, and there is a report in there's a report in Ed Plan called, I think it's called, Yolanda, help me. It's called Student Exit, I believe. That report, if you run that report kind of gives you any students who exited and doesn't have where their exit reasons needs to be modified, if you will. So you could use that report to help guide you on the students who have exited, whose exiting reason may need to be updated or different than what appears in PowerSchool.
I know, but I'm not talking about the exit codes in PowerSchool. I'm talking about what's reflected in the drop down actually in Ed Plan when we go to exit the student. Just like, graduating with a high school diploma is the exit code that we have here. But in Ed Plan, it's received let me see if I can find the exact terminology. It says something about a diploma. Hang on for 1 second, I'll find it. Right. See, it's just some of the language is just not exactly graduated with diploma.
That's what it says in, that's what it's saying in Ed Plan?
Yeah, and then for those students who have reached maximum age is either exceeded maximum age or
So I
exceeded
think,
max age for attendance.
okay, so I believe those are what you're seeing are the Power School exit reasons. And
Okay,
some of them, we will map. So if you
okay,
notice, let me see, exceeded maximum age, we will, because it aligns with reach maximum age, they will,
okay,
Ed Plan will automatically convert that to reach maximum age. So you don't have
okay,
to do anything for those. But if you have one with a W-40, you have to log into Ed Plan and update the modified reasons and change it to whatever the appropriate outcome is for those students, because GED tracking means that you are tracking those students until they receive their GED. If they have not received it, then you have to change it to a dropout. Okay.
okay,
So that's kind of how it works. Same thing with moved out of district, school unknown. This is going to be changed to, if this is not, if the update modified reason is not changed, this is going to be changed to a dropout. So if you know where the students have transferred to or where they've gone
mhm,
to, go ahead and update that to move known to be continuing, because
okay,
ultimately that's what it would be. You know what I mean? Um,
mhm,
if they transfer within district, the W-10, those students are technically still receiving services. So as long as you know where they've gone, you want to be able to go in and update that modified reason from whatever is coming through from Power School, so that you will have the correct outcome on your report. So in Power School, there's an RE for return to regular education. This is going to be changed to transfer back to regular education. So PCG will update this code for you. So wherever you see like the capital level, graduated with a high school diploma, reached maximum age, moved on to be continuing, those outcome reasons will automatically be converted by the folks on PCG. Does that make
okay.
sense? Does it make sense?
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Guys, I know it's been a very challenging year. It's been very, very trying, but I promise you, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this.
Carolyn,
Yes.
for when you modify the exit reason in Ed Plan after, after the rollover, employee credential, South Carolina employee credential is not an option.
It's not it's not an option in Ed Plan.
No, it's not. Here, your options are transferred to another school system, graduated with diploma, graduated with certificate of completion, exceeded maximum age, deceased, or dropout. There's not an option for employee credential.
Okay. Go ahead and submit a Zendesk ticket telling them that that option is not visible after you completed your New Year rollover, so that they can update it in their system.
Okay.
I have a question about the error entry dates on the indicator 7 for COSIFs that have an entry date on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were 3-year-old for BabyNet, their IEP has to start on their 3rd birthday, regardless of what day of the week that is. Is that incorrect for their
So
entry dates?
if their birthday falls on a Saturday or Sunday, theoretically, the services will start on that Monday.
Understood, but if you put a Monday date or a next time their school date, especially over like Christmas holiday or things like that, then you get the error on the BabyNet report that they're overdue.
We would, so
12.
for BabyNet, we look for that on the report. So as long as we see that the meeting date occurred before the 3rd birthday, you will not penalize for that.
So for my indicator 7, I have 156 that have a weekend entry date. Do I have to go change all those today?
No, you don't have to change.
Because
all
I
that
didn't,
today.
that error column just
We
appeared,
just
yesterday?
did it. Yeah, we just added that to the system, but just be mindful of that in the future.
Okay, that's not a problem. So that's,
Yeah.
it's okay for their IEP start date and their coast entry date to be the next calendar school day after their third birthday if they're a baby net kid.
It's okay for this reporting, but in the future, you want to make sure that it actually starts on a weekday.
Okay, so I don't need to fit, like,
What
my
I would,
indicator
what I
7 with all
would,
those errors will be okay.
what I would recommend you to do, look at the number of days. If it's close or near that 180th day of service, you want to make sure that those dates are correct for those students, because if it's less than 180 day of services, it's going to be excluded from your report anyway, right? But
Yeah.
if it is at least 180 days, you want to make sure that those students are included. So if you have one of the 156 that's impacted in that gray area, you want to make sure that you do correct those dates.
Okay. And then one last question about the indicator 7. I'm gonna pull it from Ed Plan like it is from advanced
Mhm.
reporting and then submit it to Ed Plan. Should I be removing any kids or that I know shouldn't be on there? Or are you guys gonna
No,
take care of removing the kids?
we are going to we're going to mass remove any students from the system with the coast prior to July 1st of 24. We're going to remove those students from the report at this state level. We ask for the whole report just to gain an idea of what the report does. And so as a part of that, we needed to see what it did for those students who were reported last year. So we will take care of that at the state level. You can just ignore those and look at the ones who have a coast exit date or BabyNet falls within between July 1st of 24 and June 30th of 25.
Okay, and thank you, because this is my first year submitting all this and I
No,
know it's
you're
all of
okay.
ours for Ed Plan. So I
Uh-huh.
just want to make sure. So then like, will you send it back to us in Ed Plan or ADT to like make clarifications or corrections?
Yes.
Add notes to like we have on
We,
the other reports throughout the year?
yes, ma'am, we will
Okay,
continue that. We
perfect.
will continue that process. Just to, just the verification, in the event that there'd been an oversight on, what was submitted or what came through to us. So you will have, a final edit check, if you will, verification
Perfect.
check, if you will, yes. And we will send those to you via ADT.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will say that whatever changes or corrections you make after you submit, you always want to make sure that your changes are corrected in the system at the source level. You don't have to resubmit to us, but you'll make the corrections in the spreadsheet and in the source system. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Carolyn, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. A question is sort of a follow-up question to the BabyNet piece and the weekend entry. Is there nothing that Ed Plan can do on the back end to eliminate that fraud? Because we're gonna have to do another training piece for the psychologists.
Well,
That since
moving
they
forward, we correct moving forward, right? We correct
right,
moving
yes,
forward. It was
yes.
as we were going through and looking at the logic for the length of days served, for the length served, and so we noticed that that was a contributor as to why the number of days was not changing. So we just added the field in there. It wasn't a whole lot. I think it was
Mhm,
something like maybe 300 for the state, which is really not a whole lot, right?
mhm, mhm.
So just moving forward, just be able to communicate
Okay.
that to them. And as I shared with the previous person, you want to look to make sure those dates that are near that 180 mark, you definitely want to check those dates, because if that's the difference, if that weekend date is the difference in
Okay.
that student being included or excluded, you want to make sure that you get as many students included as possible. And also to remember that the coast data will be included as a part of your determinations for the upcoming school year. So you want to pay close attention to those and what's happening with those outcomes. Okay.
Okay.
Says if you've already submitted indicator 7, do you need to resubmit? No, you do not need to resubmit. We'll do our very best to catch those on the end.
Hey Carolyn, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Quick question. I know last year we were advised to enter some exit dates for COSA for certain students that weren't served for the 180 days, or like students that move within that parameter. Do we still need to do that with Ed Plan?
No, you do not, which is the
Okay.
reason why we've added in those indicators for you. That's based on what's in the system, just based on that COS entry date. The validation is built to tell you the number of days served based on the day that you're running that report. So it will real-time update each day you run that report and let you know the number of days that the students have been served. And if it's less than 180 days, you don't have to do anything, because that yes/no indicator will let us know that it's less than 180 days.
Very well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Will the Power School rollover need to happen before we can add the exit reasons? No. If you know what those students' exit reasons are, you can enter them on the Ed Plan side. The Ed Plan exiting reasons will override anything that's on the Power School side. So you can definitely go ahead and get a head start updating those, modifying the exit reasons in Ed Plan.
It's still showing, I'm sorry, it's still showing those people though as active students.
So that's probably because your rollover hasn't happened yet.
That was kind of that was kind of more my question, I think. Did
Okay.
the rollover need to happen to make them exit? Not that
I believe
to
so.
modify the exit reasons.
So if okay, so I know that there's some districts have processes where if a student has exited, or with your graduated students, they kind of run that process to move them over into that graduated school, which puts them in the inactive state. If your district has not done that yet, just talk with them to find out, or to get some insight as to when that's going to happen, so that you can get a head start on updating or modifying those exit reasons.
Okay, thanks. That makes sense.
You're welcome.
I had another question about indicator 7. I have tried to go back and make some corrections to kids that have left us, so they're inactive in the system. I've gone in, reactivated them, entered their exit ratings based on what the teacher has given me. They might have left mid-year, but in the past we've been told that even if they left mid-year, we need to go ahead and do the exit. So I've gone back and tried to do that. When I finalize it, it tells me I didn't enter any ratings, even though I clearly did. I've submitted multiple tickets. I got an answer that had nothing to do with what I asked, and I've submitted yet another ticket. So
email that question
I know
to
what to
me.
do about that at this point.
I will follow up with them. Now tell me, as that student that is exited, have they transferred to another district, or they've moved out of state?
I have multiple different students it's happening to. So it's any of my inactive students that I've reactivated and tried to do that. It's giving me that error message. So some of them have transferred to another district. Some of them have gone to another state. It just kind of depends on the kid.
Okay. Well, for the ones that have transferred in-state, and you know that they've gone to another district, because the way that the COS is going to work, it's a unique entry and a unique exit. So if they've left you and transferred to another district, that information will transfer over to that district. That's an easy one. For those that are transferring out of state and that information is not readily available or visible in the system, we have to find out why. When did you submit that ticket?
13 days ago. And then I
Oh.
followed up with it. They gave me an answer like 2 days ago. Followed up, no answer. They gave me an answer about 2 days ago. They said, you need to reactivate the student. I'm like, yeah, I did that. That's how I got that far. So I commented back again today and asked them if they could please escalate the ticket to Nick, so that we could figure out what was going on. So it seems to only, is a pattern. It's only inactive students. And if I don't click at the top where it says entry or exit, if I don't label it exit, it will finalize. If I label it exit, it will not finalize and gives me the error code of I didn't enter any scores, even though they're clearly there.
You do there. Okay.
I put an answer to that problem in the chat. Under the yes, no drop-down box, there's a text box, and there has to be something written in that text box for it to finalize.
Okay, well, that is very helpful. I can work on that. It doesn't give you that. That would be nice to, it would give you that error and not tell you didn't enter any ratings.
I thought the same thing. It happened here as well.
Thank you.
And just a follow-up question based on what she said. When a student exits and transfers to another district in South Carolina, you don't have to worry about doing the exit, correct?
That is correct. If you are certain that that student has actually enrolled in another district, because
Thank
that responsibility transfers with them.
Right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I know
Carolyn,
that
would you
there-
mind going back,
Go ahead.
sorry, to
No,
the
go ahead.
NA slide? The slide where you were talking about the NAs on the BabyNet one? I was writing
Sure.
down the indicator 7 stuff and I missed part of what you said about that.
Oh, right here, that's on 12. So on the indicator 12 report, on the screen with the BabyNet factors, the first option on that list is NA, and there are some reasons that districts may run into that is not applicable or comparable to those factors that are beneath the NA. And so what happens is teachers have been selecting the NA plus one of the factors that does not apply. So what we're saying is either remove the factors that does not apply and select the NA and add a comment in there. Or if you leave it there, just give us enough information so that we can determine what the appropriate outcome should be.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense. And so
Okay.
clarification just on the BabyNet, because we've gone back and forth at our office with the assessment office. If it's just run of the mill, everything is fine. They get it. It's happens by their 3rd birthday. Do they need to check anything?
I believe there's an option in there that states that that it's like on time or something like that. Don't quote me on that because I don't look at it often.
Hold on. The choices are NA, unable to locate family, referred to Part C less than 90 before their 3rd, BabyNet referral less than 45 before their 3rd, no reason to suspect a disability, failure or delay in responding for permission to evaluate, failure to produce child, or declines to proceed with the referral.
Yeah, I think those are reasons to end or stop. If
So if it's just
you
run of
have
the mill,
everything you
don't mark
have, yeah.
anything?
Yeah, if it's on time, I don't think that's even an option.
No, that's what I think they were just marking NA for every on time one because they felt like they needed to click something.
No.
So I
no,
will
no.
tell them they don't need to
Okay.
click something just to click something.
So if we've already clicked NA for all of ours that are on time, should I go back in and remove that?
I'm not gonna make you work. Just send us an email letting us know and we'll take
Okay.
care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Just remind them moving forward not to do that.
Carolyn, so we don't have to put the end date of BabyNet as their 3rd birthday when they qualify? And then, because that's what we had been doing. We had been selecting NA because they did meet the deadline. And then the BabyNet exit date was their 3rd birthday. So we don't have to do that?
I
don't have
don't, I don't think so. That I believe those factors are when you are concluding. It's the exclusion reason that kind of gives you the reason as to why it is ending. If it's ending and they're in suit, like it's a normal exit, I think you just go follow normal procedures. Don't force it. Don't force something there if you don't have to. But I will double check. I'll double check with Nick when we meet this afternoon and ask him about it.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Okay. Do-do-do-do-do. Kelly, can you talk a little bit more about what you need Sherry to send you or to provide in writing?
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes, ma'am.
Um, uh, it would be, I've been hearing some more questions regarding the COSEF, and I just feel like it's probably time for us to receive an update from Sherry on, the requirements for entry and exit COSEFs again. I heard you say that we're not required to complete an exit COSEF if a child leaves our district and goes to another South Carolina district. And it would just be helpful. That's just one of the few items regarding COSEF that have been mentioned today. And I just think it'd be helpful if we get an update from Sherry, if we get something in writing regarding the COSEFs.
I will forward that to
Because
her.
because previously, unless just have misunderstanding, previously we were required to complete an exit COSEF if a child exited our district. Even if they were,
Previously in the enriched system, correct?
yes.
Yeah, in the enriched system, yes. In Ed Plan, no. Ed Plan it has some parameters built into it that that takes care of those things, but I will forward this over to her.
And I guess somebody indicated in the chat that because of the questions about COSEFs, maybe a training or an update could be provided to us. I think that sometimes, it's easy to confuse what's actually required versus what's
What are the
required
workarounds?
under regs versus what's policy and procedure from the State Department versus what were system requirements like Enrich versus Ed Plan.
Right. Two different systems, two different processes. So if you are an enriched district that is still using Enrich, you're going to have to follow those Enrich guidelines, right? If you're in Ed Plan, if you're using Ed Plan, things change. So, but I will definitely forward this request over to her.
Thanks, Carolyn.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Or is there any questions that have not been answered?
Carolyn,
Yes.
it's Yolanda. I
Uh-huh.
see, I'm just looking in the chat and I see where Karen at Lex 3 said that she did her rollover yesterday in Power School, but her graduates are still showing active this morning and she can't process their modified exit date until they're inactive. How long does it take for them to be inactive in Ed Plan? It's kind of like a 24-hour. delay, right?
That's if you are making a change in Ed Plan, it's a 24-hour. If I'm not mistaken, I will find out today, but I believe the process from Power School is a little longer. I think that one is probably more like a 48-hour turnaround.
Okay.
But if you are making a correction within Ed Plan and to see that on advanced reporting, it's a 24-hour turnaround.
Hello, this is Karen Whitlock from Hampton. Our Power School person said though that there was some kind of hold on EdFi where right now, because of something EdFi is doing, she is not publishing. You know, she published on the 14th of June and said she's not publishing again. So we have like a 2 or 3 week window where she has said there won't be any publishing. I don't know if that's going on in the other district or not.
So when she published, okay, did your students roll over, your inactive students? Are you able to modify
Well,
them?
she didn't roll over yet, but she stopped publishing to EdFi in preparation for stuff. So anybody, and she just gave us a heads up that if we had any SSI students we needed to put into EdPlan, we can still work in EdPlan, but they're not publishing from PowerSchool to EdPlan until she tells me it's happening again.
Right,
So,
and so that
so
process
that
for
could
you
affect,
is your new year rollover. That
right, and so
yes.
that could affect the rollover as well. So it does sometimes, it's not just when do you roll over, but when does your PowerSchool person start publishing?
Right, and just so that you are aware, is she aware that you have a report due at the end of July?
Yeah, we'll have it plenty by
Okay,
then.
okay, okay.
She's already told. So they're really close to doing the rollover. So they're waiting on one school to say they're ready and then they'll be doing it.
Okay.
And Carolyn, this is Eva. That is correct. Also, what she is saying in our district, because I spoke with my PowerSchool director and she told me the same thing. Even though the rollover for us has happened, they're waiting for the certificate with the concerning the new rollover. And so she said it will be a couple weeks for us as well.
Okay.
Earlier, you said that people who need to be removed from the spreadsheet need to have an email sent. Are people who are automatically going to be removed like kindergarten, like in the past, or do they need to have an email sent for them for indicator 7?
We will mass remove. We will mass remove anyone with an exit date prior to July 1st of 2024. We will mass remove that from the reports. If you have students that falls between July 1st of 24 and June 30th of 25 that needs to be removed from your report, just send us an email on that and we'll take care of that because that falls within this current reporting year.
Okay, so nothing's changed on that part.
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Kevin, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry, you're going to take off. I'm sorry.
No. So basically, if all the students that have been reported on previous year's reports, we're going to mass remove those. You can just ignore those. You don't have to send a support ticket or anything. We're going to remove those students on the end. However, if you have a student on your report with that falls between July 1st of 24 and June 30th of 25, and one of them need to be removed from your report, that's the student that you're going to send the state ID number to us and tell us to remove them from the report.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yolanda, am I missing anything?
Here are
Albert,
two more indicator 7 questions. One where it says I have a student that is not populating in indicator 7. The coast was finalized a little later, but should be showing up on the report.
Submit a Zendesk ticket.
Okay. Indicator 7, we do need to email the student ID number for the students we need the state to remove from our spreadsheet, correct?
Or if they fall between June 1st of 24 and June 30th of 25, yes. Otherwise, we will remove them from the state automatically.
Okay, let's see.
I'm sorry, I know we addressed this, but what was the resolution for the ones that said that they were entered over the weekends?
So you want to double check double check the ones who were near the 180th day. If you have any that's near that date, you do want to modify those. Otherwise, if it's substantially less than 180 days of services, you don't have to worry about it because they'll be removed from the report anyway.
And Mindy said if she submits the Zendesk ticket today and doesn't hear back by tomorrow, then should she submit her report anyway, or?
Yeah, go ahead and
Okay.
submit it go ahead and submit it anyway. You know, we can always talk through it.
Carolyn, when we spoke to our Power School folks, they were not able to go ahead and swap out those XG grade levels for pre-K. So when we submitted our spreadsheet yesterday, it still had some XG grade levels. Do we need to change those manually and resubmit the report?
No. So what is supposed to happen? The report is supposed to reflect the grade level as of today. I do know that on the Power School side, they kind of shut the editing down as of June 30th. I can look at the 3 and 4-year-olds and kind of tell if they are pre-K. The one that gets a little gray is when they start entering school age. It gets a little gray. So for those, you could probably catch those and correct it when we have verification.
Yeah, we did. We were able to switch to make sure all the ones who were kindergarten age said that. We
Okay.
added column 2 with comments.
Mhm.
That way we added just something. We didn't delete any columns, but we added a notes column if we had to correct any data in the field.
Did you put it on the end or at the beginning?
The very
Okay, the very end of the spreadsheet. Okay, cool.
Yes, ma'am.
And which district are you, Michelle?
Dorchester 2.
Which one?
Dorchester 2.
Door 2. Okay. Okay, thank you for that.
So Carolyn, this is Eva. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So for us, we were up under the same one. We were not able to change those XG students out. So on the spreadsheet, I actually just corrected what grade level they should have been. Like if they were pre-K 3 or pre-K 4. Do I need to go back and change that and just leave all of them as XG?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I was going to say, if anyone has a question in the chat that hasn't been asked or replied to, if you want to come off mute and ask.
Linda, can you talk a little bit more about which report are you referencing?
Sorry, I should have clarified. For the indicator 7, we have some students who will be 5 by September 1st, but they're not going to go to kindergarten next year. So they'll need their exit before they turn 6.
Correct.
So are those the kind of kids I would email and say, hey, they need to be removed, or just wait? And
No, they shouldn't have, and if you're talking COAS, right? They should not have exit scores.
They don't.
So
I'll be okay.
Those are still, yes. So missing exit scores represents to us students who are still active and receiving services.
Okay, not a red flag. Okay, I just wanted to make sure of what was going to be red flag or not.
Oh, no, not that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And if you look in, I believe the indicator 7 report is one that has the tabs at the bottom. No, it's not indicator 7. There's a submission only. The submission tab is basically students that will come through to us on the report. The other tab that they have in there is students with entry only, meaning that they're still active and receiving services. They don't have exit scores. So if you look through that list and determine that there's a student on there who should have exit scores, you're going to go in, add them in, and give 24 hours before it appears on your report.
But it's okay that there's lots of kids on the submission report that don't have exit scores.
If it's, especially if it's prior to June 1st of 24, that's perfectly fine because they should have previously been reported.
We'll have lots of 3 and 4-year-olds on it that won't turn 5 before September 1st.
That's fine.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
it's
submit it how it
fine.
is and it'll all come out. in the
It'll
wash.
work. It'll work itself out. I appreciate the the cautiousness. You know, you want to make sure that's right. So we certainly appreciate that. We're about 1 minute overdue. I'm going to update those dates in the slides and send that out to you. I will probably send it out on Monday when I send out the indicator 14 updates as well.
Carolyn, the date was right on the PowerPoint that you sent via email.
Did I? Okay. Whew. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. All right, if I'm going to look back through the questions and hopefully we've caught them all. If not, we'll add any missing response in the updates just to make sure that all questions have been addressed. Thank you guys. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for staying the course through this transition year. I suspect the upcoming year will still be a little rocky. We will have a base foundation of certain things to look for, what not to do, as we continue to transition through these systems. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a happy summer. And some of you I will be in touch with a little later today. Enjoy.
Ms. Bostic, I have a question I didn't want to ask in front of the rest of the district. If you have a minute. This is Marion County.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll hang on.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Sure. Albert, if you don't mind stopping the recording.
Sure, I was just about to ask. Okay.
Yes.
Ms. Bostic, I too have questions.